Did you know that Singapore was once home to the second largest dry dock in the whole world? As we set out to explore an island, once called Pulau Hantu, or Ghost Island, this is what we discovered. We wandered coastlines and mangroves carried by the sea breeze, discovering stories etched into the waters and quiet paths. Today wasn't about doing much, but noticing plenty. The wonder in simply being and gently discovering. Welcome to Wonderlust. Hello! We are going to explore one of Singapore's many islands. It's a tiny little island. We've just arrived at harbourfront. There's condos around here. There's a building going on behind us. We can see the cable cars going overhead. And we've actually walked into a brand new park called King's Dock Park. Might give you a little clue to where we are. So yeah, we're going to see what's around. We're going to head in. I can see the sea. There's a bit of a breeze coming off. So yeah, let's go and explore. So we are at harbourfront and we've taken just a few short steps really, and we're currently standing in front of the sea, and this actually used to be a passage through to South China Sea from Malacca. Like wooden boats used to pass through here on their way to trade. Like Singapore has a huge trading history, which I find really, really fascinating, how it kind of turned from a tiny little village essentially, and like an island village, and then turned into a really good trading spot. So that's pretty interesting. So this used to be a place for the ships to come and have repairs and things like that. So we're going to head over to the little island where they used to do that. There is still a dock here, I guess you call it a dock, shipyard, where they're fixing up boats as well. There's a few going past, more like tourist boats going past at the moment, but over in the distance I can see like more of a shipyard for shipping containers and things like that. Oh! Looking on the map to get here, you can actually see that there's like waterways in between the condos, and that's actually where the dry docks were. And I'm just going to read the information that's on the plaque so that I make sure I get it right. But Sir Henry Keppel, where this was named after, he realised that the water was deep enough to be able to have a dry dock. So the boats would be able to come in here, huge boats would be able to come in here, sort of in between where the condos are. The waterways are still here now, they're filled with water, so the boats would be able to go in there, they would be able to drain the water, and they would be able to use the dry dock to be able to do any boat repairs and anything like that, which is pretty fascinating. It was being used until 1999. And then after that, all of the ships that needed to be repaired and stuff were all moved away from this area, and the condos here were built. Jonty's aunt actually lives in Reflections over there, which beautiful. So I'm enjoying knowing a little bit more of this history, so I hope she watches it. And if you didn't know this, then here's some facts about where you live. But yeah, so you can still see these waterways. This is King Dock. It was the second largest in the world, which is a pretty cool fact. I love facts. If you've watched any of our videos, I love a plaque and I love facts. And then there's the Queen Dock, and then there's a couple more along the way as well. So yeah, we're going to go and check those out too before we head over to the little island that we're making our destination today. Behind me is the condo Corals. They've all got kind of sea-themed names, with Corals, Reflections. It almost looks a little bit ship-like. I don't know if I'm just imagining it because it's in the area, but like it almost looks like it's got like a pointy ship front. The balconies are actually flat, but they kind of look like kind of ship-like, kind of angled. Might just be my imagination being in the area that we're in, but yeah, they do kind of remind me a little bit of ships and marine stuff. Yeah, the architecture is really different out here. Yeah, there's different plants out here as well, which is quite interesting, and the sound of the leaves rustling through the trees is really nice because there's no cars out this way, so you can just hear the nature, the water, which is really lovely. And we're going to go across the bridge now to an island that was formerly called Pulau Hantu. I'm now walking over the bridge. There is a fantastic breeze coming off the sea. I imagine living here is quite cooling. There are loads and loads of fancy yachts next to me. Some of them are way bigger than the apartment we live in. Jonty was actually able to go on one of these yachts as part of a charity fundraiser that he's part of. So yeah, he's going to tell you a little bit more about that. If you wonder why he's not here, he's actually done his ankle in and it's really swollen, and so yeah, he can't really walk at the moment. But yeah, so he's going to tell you about his yacht experience while we keep continuing over the bridge.
That just spilled.
Oh, did it spill?
Yeah, it spilled. Now my foot's wet.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go clean it up.
Yeah, as Millie said, I have hurt my ankle. Aspen's been helping me to ice it and get everything feeling a bit better. It's now elevated as well. But yeah, yesterday I was at West Coast Park. Actually a really cool project I should tell you about. The 6th graders at my school have all designed activities that can be done in different parks around Singapore, and we've combined with NParks. So in a week or two you better check out the NParks website and see all the different things that they've got that they've planned, and you can try them out yourself if you've got kids, or I mean if you want to just play some games yourself. But yeah, I rolled my ankle on some uneven ground over at West Coast Park, so trying to rest it up now. But as Millie said, I was recently at Keppel Bay for an event. I was on a yacht, which was pretty amazing. But the event was to promote a charity that I get to be a trustee of called Care for Children. Care for Children, we try to, the aim of the charity is to place orphans in families instead of in institutionalised care. And we've, in various different countries, the whole project starts in China. You can check out a great little documentary called The Children of Shanghai, narrated by Bear Grylls. It's there. We are also now expanding in a few different countries, including Cambodia and Vietnam and various other places around the world. And yeah, we had a really fantastic event over there. We had a special guest who was Prince Michael of Kent. Was there too, and yeah, it was just an amazing event, amazing time. And so I'm a bit gutted that I don't get to walk around the island and explore it with Millie and Milo today, but I'm glad to be home and spending some time with Aspen and just resting this leg. But for now, back to Millie.
You can drive over here as well. We are on foot. This bridge was actually only constructed in 2008, so before that, I guess you would have just have to taken a boat just to get over here, or perhaps it wasn't used before that. So yeah, it's been redeveloped into kind of like a luxury site. There's a marina over here. I believe there's a privé over here as well. So if you were looking somewhere to go that's a little bit different than the normal kind of place, I think this would be a really nice spot to come to. There's like little fairy lights up, which I think would look really lovely in the evening time over here. So yeah, I am almost over to the island, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we're there. Apart from that chicken, all that seems to be here is an enormous car park this side and a kind of boat country club over the other side. Unfortunately, there's all these barriers, so I can't actually get over to the other side. There are a couple of little lookout points that I wanted to go and head over to. I could see them on the map, but it's all closed off. There's no photography and videography that way either. So yeah, I kind of feel like it was going to be redeveloped into something, and then it feels like it's kind of half finished to me. If you know a little bit more about this, then yeah, do let me know. But yeah, I feel like it could be so much more over here, like this little private island, this Keppel Island that has this really amazing history. Could be like a really cool place to go. I can imagine some nice like waterfront restaurants and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not a property developer. Maybe I should change my career. But I feel like this would just be a really lovely space because it's so quiet. You can overlook Sentosa over there. You can see the cable car still going over, which is really lovely, and it's so nice and cool with this breeze. For now, it's just me and Milo and that chicken. Here there is a privé that you can come to, and we've actually walked down and we're walking next to all of the yachts and the boats. Pretty impressive. There's a little one for sale. tempted to just kind of find out what kind of price these boats are. Really, I imagine an extremely expensive hobby to have.
I went on a boat party and there was a boat like this, but the top level it had like another one above it, which is about the same size. And there was like all the drinks there, and then there was a bedroom underneath.
It is Keppel Bay. So this island is Keppel Island. It now has restaurants. There's a nursery here as well, and obviously there's a dock for all of the boats. It used to be called Pulau Hantu. Now Hantu means ghost. The name was actually changed because there's another island called Pulau Hantu somewhere else, and I believe I read that they used to have battles on the island, so they believed that when the people died that their ghosts would be on that island. So yeah, now it's got like fancy jazz music playing, and the link to the main island, and all these really nice restaurants, and yeah, a nursery over here as well. So this side has got a little bit more going on than just the chicken on the other side. So apparently this island is privately owned. I don't know who owns it, but yeah, sort of privately owned island. But we are heading back over the bridge now, just enjoying looking at all of the boats to my left, and then yeah, I've still got Sentosa over to my right. Milo is hungry, standard. It's only been about 3 hours since he's last having something to eat, so of course he's hungry. But yeah, the restaurants over there are a little higher than I want to pay today, so yeah, we're gonna probably go and find something a little bit more pocket friendly for dinner. We're gonna head back over and have a look at some of the other condos along the way. Really lovely kind of big glass fronted buildings, so yeah, we're gonna go and check those out and see what else we can find that's around this Keppel Island. This little boat here might be more in my price range. This is a really nice walk, actually. Like, I know I've mentioned it a load of times, but that breeze, oh my goodness. And just the lack of people. I mean, lots of comments. Oh, I'm just going down the slope, so I'm looking where I'm walking. Lots of comments, you know, oh, there's always so many people in Singapore. There's always so many people. And yes, there are a lot of people in Singapore. But this is really lovely, actually, where there's not that many people. Lots of dog walkers coming out for the evening, which is really nice, just to come for a walk somewhere else. And there is actually a little end park at the end of this. I can't remember what it is, Labrador Park, I think. So I think we're going to head along that way. Like I said, Milo's hungry, so we're going to keep going. Little his face. So before he completely wastes away, we're going to keep going. I thought it would be nice to actually cycle along here, but you're actually not allowed to cycle through here. I don't know if it's because they're just trying to keep it pedestrianised, and maybe with bikes tearing through here it might just get a little bit chaotic. But taking a stroll down here is just really lovely, and looking at all of the boats is a pretty nice novelty. Because the woman that would have been on the Titanic would be like over 100 now, and I'm not that old.
Oh, I bet you.
You thought I was alive when the Titanic sunk?
Yeah.
Milo just asked me if I was alive when the Titanic sunk. Clearly I was not. But some of these boats are really cool. There's some sailing boats as well. I don't want to film too much of them because obviously they are people's personal property, but there's some enormous boats. Oh, these black ones, they look like the army boats that you can go and tear around on when it's the National Day things and the Army Day. But Milo just was talking about the time we went on this cruise, and that was an amazing experience. We were actually gifted from the company, and we went on this cruise ship, which was incredible. It's been like one of my favourite things that we've ever done, to have the opportunity to go on this cruise. You can go and check that video out. But then when you see the size of these larger boats and you think about the size of a cruise ship, like, wow, some of these are just, they would be completely tiny next to them, but parked over here, docked over here, docked is the right word, they look enormous. We walk past the condos, we can see the island over to the other side. There's like another little island as well. I think that is part of Sentosa. Maybe a bit that you can't get to. I forget the name, where the big lookout tower is now. I'll have that come up because yeah, maybe I'm hungry and the name has eluded me as well. But there is a boardwalk over the sea which we're going to follow along to Labrador Park. There's this really big open space behind me. I'm not too sure what it's for, what it was used for before, but there's a family out here and their young son is learning to ride a bike, which is really nice. So yeah, Milo's gone ahead in search of food already. So yeah, we're going to follow along the boardwalk and go through some of Labrador Park.
There used to be a wall there, I think. Yeah, it looks old. Not as old as her, but...
So just looking along, you can see like the ruggedness, and then like Milo just said, without the rudeness of me being old, he said that it looks like there's a wall, and it does look like there was a wall built, whether it was a wall to stop the sea getting up or whether it was actually a pathway. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, you can see some of a little bit of the natural coastline and also some of the wall, which I guess, now I'm thinking about it, was probably a bit of a sea defense. So if you can see behind me, there is a bungalow, a house. In the UK, a bungalow is a house without stairs, but here a bungalow doesn't necessarily mean that. So for me, it's a house, one of the black and white houses. I don't know if anybody lives there. It would be a pretty nice place to live. You've got the view over the sea. It looks like once upon a time you would have had a private bay as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to have a little bit more of a look up about that. There's no plaques. Where are the plaques? Like I said, if you follow along, you arrive at Labrador Nature Park. We're not going to go through Labrador Nature Park. There's a Bukit Chermin, I think I'm saying that correctly, boardwalk that we're going to cut out and go to Labrador Park MRT. Labrador Park has its own amazing history. Actually, I think when I tried to visit it before, some of it was closed off for renovation, so I'll be keen to go back and find out a little bit more about the history of that place too. Singapore does have a lot of history when you start digging, which is kind of just making us fall in love with the country a little bit more when you kind of find out where it's come from, especially with Jonty's family ties. And I think it's really important that the kids kind of know that as well. So we are going to leave this beautiful view behind me of the open sea and the big boats, and we're going to head more into like trees, a bit more nature, and walk along the boardwalk. This boardwalk is totally cool. It feels like I've just walked into something completely different. Like the plants are different around here, the trees are huge, the leaves are different, here different kind of birds. There's mangroves over to my right as well, so there's probably some mud skippers, maybe little crabs down there. I can't believe how different this feels from when we were just like open sea, and now I feel like I'm kind of surrounded in like a little tunnel of these tropical plants, which is pretty amazing. Along the boardwalk they've got these cutouts so that the trees can grow through. This one feels a lot more rugged actually, but I can tell that it's still well maintained because you can see on some of these like it's been cut so that it doesn't like come out in front of people because they are sharp along the edge. I think if you ran past one of them it would feel a bit like a paper cut across your face or arm. So yeah, although it is kind of looked after and like cut, it feels quite rugged along here. There are no monkeys. Well, there could be monkeys, I haven't seen any, but there are lots of squirrels running overhead and I tried to see a couple of them, but yeah, they're super cute. I can just hear them running around. Milo had scooted way far ahead all the way to the end and then came back. And I was like, did you see anything interesting? He was like, well, nah, not really. But then we were just looking a bit longer and then he spotted a bird in the bushes, and there was a photographer that had gone past and he kind of came back and was like, oh, what did you see? And then there was a little crowd of people gathered, and I love that nature can kind of bring those people together, like, oh, what have you found? What did you see? And then, yeah, we were all looking at the bird for a while, and now we're heading back on. Milo says that he would love to see a snake, but he's not sure that he can be bothered to keep looking because he's so hungry. Ooh, cobweb. these are the tidal mangroves, and we're coming to the end of the boardwalk. It's been really lovely walking along here actually, and now that we know kind of what to look for, you can see that there's bubbles coming out of the water, which means that there's crabs down below. There's also lots of little fish that have like the really long thin ones that have like a blue dot on their head as well, which is really lovely. We know there's loads of mud skippers down there when you start looking, because they are exactly the same colour as the sand, and yeah, you can kind of see that it's actually teeming with wildlife. And I can see just in front of me I saw some ripples come out of the water, but I'm not sure what's in there. I'm guessing there's a few monitor lizards as well, but yeah, the traffic's getting louder and I can see the road, so yeah, we're gonna come and get to the very end of this boardwalk. So we're at the end of the boardwalk, right next to the road, right next to Labrador Park MRT. So yeah, we're going to go and get some food and then make our way back home. I've really enjoyed this little trip actually. I kind of set out not really knowing what was here. There wasn't anything that was like, I would say like, oh wow, that's absolutely incredible moment. But actually lots of little small moments of wonder along the way, which has been really, really lovely. And just to spend some extra time with Milo as well. Obviously it would be nice if Jonty and Aspen were here as well, but getting little pockets of time one-to-one with the kids is also really lovely as well. Jonty and I did disappear off to the cinema this week to go and see the new Mission Impossible movie, which was fantastic. We saw it in IMAX and it was like, whoa, pretty crazy. So yeah, trying to find those times to make like one-to-one time with each other has been really important. But anyway, now we're going to go and eat. Thanks for coming along this journey. I would recommend starting at Labrador Park, walking through the boardwalk to get to the Keppel kind of area, and then you could go over to look at the boats and then have some food at Privé, and I think that would be a really lovely evening. And then you could take the Harbourfront MRT back to wherever you came from. So yeah, that would be my recommendation, to do it that way around. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye!